Hey guys, what's up? Roston. Some of you may remember earlier in the year a young woman by the name of Bahar Mustafa who attended Goldsmiths University in London in the UK coming under fire for posting some controversial and potentially racist tweets and material. You might remember she was the girl who basically put up a sign saying no white men, no cis white males at this meeting at a meeting she was taking part in for black and ethnic individuals as her own terms. She made a tweet or two. She used terms like white trash. She used the hashtag kill all men, and this would be par for the course for a social justice warrior under normal circumstances, and really not particularly unique behavior, but it went viral. And the thing about it is she's also like the chairperson of she's the diversity officer for Goldsmiths, so she's pretty adamant about her position. Well, either way, it turns out she's now facing criminal charges. And she'll be attending court in November of this year. And she won't be charged with hate crimes. She won't be charged with hate speech, but she will be charged under the Malicious Communications Act, which is a law that exists in the UK, stipulating that you can potentially face charges for threatening material posted on social networks. I'm of two minds about this whole thing. The immature sort of revenge lusty person in me says, it's sort of like it's a cathartic thing to see somebody tagged on their racism, really, quite frankly. And brought up on it and really sort of punished for it, but I would be a deceptive prick and a liar and a hypocrite to say that I wanted her prosecuted. I'm going to do something really weird now where I'm going to defend a racist. But it's okay because she was racist against white people. Even saying that seems dirty, but I'm still consciously aware of the fact that I'm about to defend somebody who is a racist. Recently in a couple of videos, I criticized Zoe Quinn and Anita Sarkeesian for going to the UN and calling for an end to free speech. And I couldn't sit here and say that what this woman is, the prosecution of this woman for things that she said is satisfactory, whilst simultaneously holding the position that Zoe Quinn and Anita Sarkeesian's attempt to censor free speech was wrong. Ultimately, in an ideal world, Miss Mustafa would see the error of what she did and understand that she is, at bare minimum, a bigot, at bare minimum accepts and owns her hatred and dislike of white people and white culture. Because she does. It seems weird to sort of say that, it seems unpleasant to have to point it out, but she's a racist. She's a bigot. She tried to pull the old faithful. I'm going to quote what she said in her defense. I'm quoting the independent.co.uk, so this is just a short paragraph. Miss Mustafa explained that she could not be guilty of sexism or racism against white men because racism and sexism describe structures of privilege. You know where we're going. Structures of privilege based on race, gender, and therefore women of color and minority genders cannot be racist or sexist since we do not stand to benefit from such a system. This logic is profoundly annoying. You see, I think it sort of occurred as a result of the rare cases in which minority individuals in primarily white nations commit acts of violence against white people based on racial anger, based on racial hatred, based on, quite frankly, racism. This is a very politically inconvenient event for a lot of people, because so much of the narrative about racism is geared towards telling white people not to be racist. And simultaneously, it tends not to offer individuals in minority ethnicities the same stern sort of finger waving saying don't be racist. It tends to be directed at white people. There's a fantastic documentary done by Channel 4, and I encourage you to watch it, and it had a very brutal title, The Things That Are True About Race That We Don't Say, or something along that line, The Things That We Don't Say About Race That Are True. And it was actually created by the former British Labour government's, I want to say, diversity officer as well. And that's a really interesting, eye-opening sort of insight into sort of British culture and how Britain deals with racial issues. But yeah, I'm not surprised Miss Mustafa pulled out the I can't be racist because I'm not white card. That's not. She seemed like the sort of person, just by looking at her, that you knew she was going to pull that shit. But she's been tagged. She's been snagged by the British government. She likely faces criminal charges. They stopped just short of accusing her of hate speech. They're tagging her under the Malicious Communications Act. So they're not willing to go so far as to say that she was enacting hate speech, but they are willing to go so far as to say that she was enacting violent speech on the internet. But again, I don't want her prosecuted. I don't think she should face any criminal charges for what she did. I think she's a racist. I think she's an asshole. I think she exists in sort of an academic bubble, which builds its own relativism and creates its own narratives, and justifies hatred of the majority from a minority position via quite shaky special exceptionary means. It's frustrating. It's the whole thing about it is when you start saying that you can't be a racist because X, it really irritates people's sense of fairness. It really gets up people's asses, and rightly so. It is against fairness. It's not fair to say that one group is capable of being racist, and one group is deserving of racial hatred because of their actions, etc. It's wrong. But as I said, ultimately boiling back to the point, Miss Bahar Mustafa is an asshole. She is a racist. She is a bigot. She seems like kind of a shitty, obnoxious person. She doesn't deserve a criminal penalty for what she did. I'm Ross Dunn. Like, comment,